Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing great. Tuesday, and today wasn't a really good day for the miners or Bitcoin itself, but for the most part, it was buying opportunity if you had the chance. So thank you so much for coming in to watch this video. We're going to cover a couple of things here. One, I have two corrections for yesterday's video on DMG and Iris Energy. Somebody in the comments actually pointed this out to me, so thank you for that. I appreciate it greatly. We'll go over that. We'll also take a look at Hive as far as how Hive did for the I think it was their Q3 numbers there. It's a little messed up with the way that they have their fiscal year set up. So we'll get into those numbers there, see how that actually looks, and then we'll go obviously into the correction. We'll look at Bitcoin miners as well. And as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice, for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And I've added in here corrections will be posted to Discord, YouTube, and Twitter. That way you guys know if I do make a mistake. I am only human. I will make a mistake from time to time. But we'll get into that here shortly. First, let's get into obviously what's going on here with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin actually came down quite a bit here today. It was down to approximately, well, pretty much came back down to where it was the day before on Monday. So we hit a low today of 48,327, and we climbed back up and we closed at 49,725. So it wasn't that bad. Okay, which was kind of good. We kind of need a little bit of a pullback here. We've been going up, pretty fast here in the last 6-7 days or so. So it's nice to get a little bit of a breather here. We'll see where it goes tomorrow. I mean, right now we're down a little bit here as well. We're currently at 49,485. 50,000 mark is acting as a resistance right now. So that's kind of to be expected, okay? Looking at the miners here, miners for the most part were down for like double digits for the most part. There were a couple that were down just like in the high single digits, and then we had a couple that were actually doing pretty good. The couple that did actually pretty good was CleanSpark, was only down 0.72% on the day, so it pretty much held pretty nicely here on the day. Along with Bitfarms. Bitfarms was only down 1.95% on the day, and then we had also Iris Energy was only down 0.14% a day, so that one held really good. Obviously, I think they're reporting their quarterly results or biannually results tomorrow, or I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that in the comments. I'm going off my memory here. And then we also had Mero wasn't down too bad, 5.72, along with Riot, right? So some of the bigger guys here that are growing into the halving event didn't go down as much as some of the other guys here. So that's kind of interesting to see that, at least for today. But obviously, today was a buying opportunity if you're dollar cost averaging into these miners. And we'll see how tomorrow is. But we needed a pullback on some of these miners because some of these miners have gone up way too much in the last couple of days here. So a little healthy pullback, I think, is always good. Okay, so next, let's get into the corrections here. So the corrections will be posted. I'm going to update the videos with corrections in them if I make a mistake in them, just so you guys are aware. Corrections will be, like this. Correction, here's the mistake that I made. And I've also found out today, learned actually from YouTube, that you can actually put in corrections and a timestamp on it. And what that will do actually is that will actually provide you with a little pop-up here that you got this little tag here. It doesn't show it right now, but it says view correction or something like that. If you see that and you click on it, it'll actually take you down to where the correction is. And it says here what the correction is and what happened actually with it right now. So that I think is going to be useful going forward, as I'm trying to get all this information out to you guys as accurately as I can. So that will be there. I've also posted today in the YouTube, this is community posts, right? So I'll post it there. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll post it on Reddit as well. Not Reddit. I'll post it on Discord as well. So that way, if you guys follow me on Twitter, or if you're a Patreon member, you'll get it on Discord, obviously. And then if you're just a regular subscriber to the channel as well, you'll get it through these community posts. So I'm trying to get it out to as many people as possible, so that way we can address the correction and the error right away. So that way you guys have the most accurate data that I can provide you guys with, okay? So thank you again to the person that pointed this out to me. And we'll get into what the actual mistakes were here shortly. We'll do that right now, actually. So DMG, the mistake I did with DMG was here. It was with the monthly operational average cost for them. And if we look at the data here, I had it actually above this line here, which is the operating and maintenance cost, which I should not have done that. It was just an honest mistake. I should have been down here one lower. So general administrative on that one. So that was a pretty big difference in the amount of operational costs per month for them. So that actually gave them a runway of 18 months here based on the information that we have from Q3 information, right? This is still a little bit dated information as far as operational costs are, but we'll get some more updates from the miners here as they start trickling in. Hive got updated today as well, the numbers for them. They're now at 84, so we'll talk about Hive here in a second as well. And then the other one that was incorrect here was the numbers for Iris Energy here on operations. For this one, I got into a zone where I was just basically doing the same thing for all the miners, going over to the last column here, and I had them for actual fiscal year 2023 numbers. So that included basically the 4 quarters or the 2 halves that they have in there. So that definitely brought down their ops costs quite a bit. And that included, obviously, here the employee benefits expenses, the professional fees that they have in there, other expenses as well, that you can see here have been trending throughout the quarters here, or the halves, however they do it. And we're dividing by 6. So that was a mistake here. And then obviously lowered their operational costs as well. Okay, so that was a mistake there. And that got them down to 33, or actually improved their runway by quite a bit here to 33 months now. So that's obviously a good sign for Iris Energy. So again, I do apologize for the mistake. It's an honest mistake. Things will happen from time to time. Like I said, I do this by myself. I don't have anybody checking my work. So I greatly appreciate you guys doing it on YouTube and in other places. So Patreon members, if you could, please double check my work on this stuff. You guys get my spreadsheets as well. If you see any mistakes, definitely let me know and we will get them corrected. I'm not ashamed to say I do make mistakes. Okay. But that's basically it here. Oh, one other thing I wanted to point out is not with this, but something else. The reason we were down today on the miners and Bitcoin was because of the the CPI data came out. So the CPI data came out a little bit higher than what analysts were expecting. And that obviously freaked out the markets a little bit here today. And that's why we had the pullback. So I forgot to mention that in this video. Okay. So that is it for that. Let's get into Hive here really quick and we'll call it a day. It should be a pretty quick and easy video here. So if we look at Hive, Hive is over here. So Hive Digital announces quarterly revenue, excuse me, of 31.3 million with a gross operating margin of 11.3 million and production of 830 Bitcoins. And what we do have here from them is these details. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you guys. I'm just going to go over the things that I highlighted here. But Hive achieved revenue of 30.1 million this quarter by mining 830 Bitcoin with a 38% gross operating margin representing 11.3 million of income from digital currency mining operations. This also represents a 146% increase in gross operating margin from the previous quarter of 4.6 million. So obviously they're doing better here. Additionally, the company realized just a little bit under 1 million here of revenue this quarter from the GPU-powered high-performance computing business unit, where the company GPUs are utilized for AI computations, including inference and fine-tuning of large language models. So that's good there. That's increasing for them as well. They were at 250,000 a quarter now, so that's almost double from where they were, I believe. So that's good there. We'll take a look at those numbers as well. And then down here, what do we have? I think there's one more. Yep. Okay. So they did have a net loss here. Net loss continuing operations was 6.95 million for the 3 months period, due greatly to the accelerated depreciation of ASIC equipment and a provision on sales tax receivables. Okay. So that's basically how they got dinged for it, to where they had like a loss of 8 cents per share on it. Okay. Look at the numbers that we do have here for them. We got Hive here. Hive has 88.2 million shares based on the information that we got from the quarterly results. So that's the latest numbers we have for them. Their market cap is at 319 million as of today, where the stock ended at $3.62. And if we go scrolling down here, they still have pretty good growth here to 6.5 exahash from 3.8. So that's good to see there. Their HODL has also increased, which is now valued at about 87 million. So that is good as well. Looking at the numbers here though, last 4 quarters of revenue has been kind of up and down. We were up in Q1, we were down in Q2, we were up in Q3. Looks like the current quarter that we're in might be down, but it also depends on how many Bitcoin transaction fees get added to it, which could help them out, or if Bitcoin price goes up much higher. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Last 4 quarters operating costs minus depreciation has been increasing here, and we're seeing that kind of across the board a little bit with all the miners because of the network transactions, or not network transactions, the network hash rate has been increasing. So that's costing obviously all these guys to pay a little bit more, obviously, for Bitcoin mine and everything else. Okay. Cost to mine one BTC minus depreciation. They're now at 24.2K based on my numbers here. And that has been also increasing as well. And we're seeing that for pretty much the majority of miners as well. BTC mined, that has been coming down. They're basically not keeping up with the network hash rate. You pretty much need to keep up with it. So if the network hash rate is growing at 3-5% a month, that's basically what you need to do in order to stay ahead of it, or at least even with it. Or if you want to stay ahead of it, you got to be more than that. Okay. Going down here, debt to equity, lower is better, obviously. So that did come down here to 0.28. So that's good from the 0.38. Also, current ratio is now higher to 3.51. Basically, they have 3 times the current assets to pay down their current debts. So that's a good, healthy balance sheet there. Okay. Total current assets increased to 104 million from 63 million. So that's good there. And total current liabilities increased just a little bit here by about 4 million to 29.85 million. So that's also good there, right? Their assets have far outpaced what their total current liabilities have increased by. Okay. Looking at the numbers down here that we have from this quarterly results they provided us. We'll get into some of these metrics here in a second. But things to take a look at here really quick is obviously the total current assets have increased, right? Total current liabilities have also increased a little bit, which is not bad. Total liabilities increased by a little bit here. So that's fine. Let me see here. Total liabilities and stockholder equity increased to 231 million from 169 million. So that's good. Revenues also increased like we talked about. They didn't provide anything as far as other services revenue. I think the 253,000 in here is the actual high performance compute hosting, which is what they're now categorizing that. And that came in at 1.137 here million on that one. They're saying 0.9 million only. That's strange. I'll have to look into that. Okay. See if that's net or maybe gross revenue on it. I'll have to see, but that's what they reported here, 1.137. And going down here, let's see what else do we have here. Cost of sales. Operating and maintenance costs increased a little bit here to 19.9 million from 18.1. So almost 2 million increase in that. Depreciation amortization, that was still about the same here that they had the prior quarter. Total cost of sales giving at 36, including depreciation on that. Gross profit negative 5 million here. So that's definitely better than the 11 million negative they had here the prior quarter. What else do we have here? Total is the 6.2. Okay, so that's just the revaluation of digital currencies, gain on disposable assets. They came in actually higher here at 6.2 million. And then expenses, let's see here. Share-based compensation, foreign exchange, general administrative was down to 4.7 from the 7.9. So that's good there. The big difference here was the share-based compensation. They definitely lowered that by a lot. So that's good to see there. 633,000 compared to 4 million. So that's good. Unrealized, let's see what else we have here. Things that are interesting. Net loss gain income from period, negative 5.2 million. Their gross profit was actually negative 16 based on that. If we take out depreciation, it was actually positive 35.9% gross profit percentage wise. So that's looking pretty good. Okay. Then we have obviously the net loss and comprehensive income loss for the period was 13, but they're using the, where was it? The negative. I just saw it. Where did it go? There we go. They're using the negative 6.95 million to basically come up with their EPS per share. So EPS per share, earnings per share came in at negative 8 cents per share compared to negative 29. So that is a nice improvement there. If it wasn't for the depreciation in there, they would have actually had a positive 34 cents per share on that one. And then last period, they actually were still negative at that point. Okay, so that's a good improvement there. Going back up here to some of the metrics that we do have here for them. BTC mine, they said 830. I have them at 825. I think that might be including, I don't know if I'm off or they're off, but this is kind of what I had for them. So we're pretty close to it. I could mark it at 830, what they reported actually on this. That way we get maybe a little bit better numbers for them as far as cost to mine. And cost to mine came in at that point at 24,000. So not much of a difference here based on the information that we do have here. And the cost to mine is calculated by the number of BTC mined and also the operating and maintenance costs here. So those costs divided by the BTC, and you get the cost basically per BTC mined at that point. That doesn't include obviously all the general administrative stuff in there. It's just what does it cost them to mine 1 Bitcoin, like we look at everybody else here. Debt to equity, we covered that. Current ratio also covered that. Book to value equity is now 180. Price to book ratio 1.74. Enterprise value 250. EBITDA was 30.8 million. And the EV to EBITDA was 8.13. And then revenue was 31.25, like we said. General administrative was only 4.3 million of that. So that's only 13.86 million goes towards the cost, towards expenses of general administrative. That's actually pretty good, right? I want to see the miners be at 20% or less if possible. And they're definitely below it. So that's fabulous there. Okay. Shares only increased by about 2.35% from the prior quarter. So that's pretty good there too. So all in all, things are looking pretty good for Hive as far as their operations and keeping costs down and everything else. They are going to be growing some more, which is good to see. As you guys know, I did own Hive since 2017, 2018 when I started buying it. And then I held on to it through 2021 because Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000 and it never happened. So I held on to it till a couple months ago when I sold it and got into some of the other mining stocks, mainly because I just didn't see, at that time at least, their growth wasn't that great. We do have a little bit of growth here now. They're going to be growing about 41% from where they are right now, which is good. But the only thing that's kind of threw me off from them is that they stated that they want to stay within 1%, or they want to maintain 1% of the network, Bitcoin network hash rate overall, right? So it doesn't sound like they want to be the top 5 miner in as far as hash rate, all that stuff. They're perfectly happy being where they are, having it 1% of the Bitcoin network hash rate right now. So that's the only thing that I see them with them. The other thing is obviously the questionable things with the AI stuff, the high performance computing. How well will they be able to grow that side of the business? Will obviously help. Well, could be helpful to them in the long run, right? Stabilize the income a little bit, but right now we're only seeing about $1 million per quarter, whereas before with the GPU mining that they had with Ethereum, they were getting 5-6 million per month, I think it was at that time. So it's a different ball game this time around. So that's the reason why I switched over. But other than that, I have no qualms about them getting past the halving event. They've been through it before. They know what's going on. They're executing really well on this. And they're just one of those miners that just keeps grinding and keeps going, right? So I think if Bitcoin goes up to obviously 100, 150,000, they'll do really well. But I do believe that there might be some other miners that will do better as far as appreciation in prices and percentages gains and things like that. So that's why I switched over from Hive to something else. Okay. So that is it. Let me know what you guys think of all of this. Obviously, a lot of information here. We'll get some more updates, possibly. I don't know when. I don't even know if we're going to find out. Let me see if we can find out when Iris Energy is reporting. If we look at Iris Energy here, they are going to set to report tomorrow, I believe. Earnings are supposed to be Thursday. Sorry, so not Wednesday, Thursday. So that'll be interesting to see how they come in at, and then we'll see what other miners start reporting their numbers as well. A lot of the numbers might be a little bit delayed because usually those are going to be the fiscal year end numbers, and those have to be audited, so they usually take a little bit longer. But we'll see for those. Okay. Other than that, as always, excuse me, the spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members. Link is down in the description for that. If you're interested in that, I think I saw one spot at the $4 tier. I think there was only 2 spots left at the $5 tier, and then the rest are at the $8 tier. And you have access to all these spreadsheets, and anytime I update things, I provide it to you guys as well there. And then we also have the Discord channel that's private to us. We have a lot of great conversations there as well. Sometimes they get a little heated depending on the viewpoints of everybody, but overall, everybody's really nice there as well. So it's always fun to talk in that space as well. But other than that, we'll see what happens going into, obviously, tomorrow with Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. We'll see how they perform. We'll see what happens with the markets. I think the markets just kind of maybe overreacted a little bit with the CPI data that came out today. We'll see if that actually gets better tomorrow. But I think the CPI data was actually lower than, well, it was lower than what we had in December, but still higher than what the analysts expected. So why are we going by analyst expectations? I just don't get that. If the numbers are lower, that's better, right? Analysts are expecting something lower. Well, it's just the analysts were wrong. So that's the way I look at it. It just seems kind of weird to me. But that's it. So I'm rambling on here. Again, thank you for coming in to watch this. I do apologize for the mistake. Mistakes are going to happen from time to time, unfortunately. And we'll get them corrected. We'll get them addressed. We'll let you guys know what the mistakes were. And we'll move on, okay? As always, again, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Yesterday's video was a fantastic video. It's up to like 7,300 some odd views right now, which is like the best performing video I've had, I think, ever within the first day, getting to 7,000. So thank you to everyone watching that. If you guys hit the like button, definitely helps the YouTube algorithm, helps the video get out to more people and everything else. And I do appreciate it greatly. Appreciate you guys watching. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.